How's the welcome been? How's it felt?
You know what? I still haven't processed it, but the welcome's been it's been very, very warm, especially with the guys that I didn't know, but the guys that I did know from, from while I was growing up, it's just the same as like seeing old friends. But from the staff to the players, everything's just been great.
Jesse, his recruitment is he doesn't let up. He's very intense and intent on his recruitment. Take us through that process. Like, what was it like for you, knowing that he wanted you to make a decision?
For me, it felt good that I've been playing and reached a level in which a national team is seeking for you to join them. But his recruitment really didn't take much. I think when I picked up the phone, I already made up my mind. Like, yeah, I've been planning. I'm trying to be a Canadian national team member. So yeah, it really didn't take much convincing. Even though he did a lot of convincing.
What did he say to you?
You know what? I think his biggest references was how much the program has grown on an exponential level, and the players themselves, using examples from David, Alistair, Davies, and those players, and seeing where their career is taking them, and describing to me what type of program he wants to build, wants to lead, and what type of football he wants to play, essentially. And I'm like, yeah, I can see myself fitting in there.
But do you feel like you're coming in the midst of a lot of competition, though? Because this team, that core, has been building for the last few years. And what about the last few months and under Jesse has made you feel like, okay, I'm part of this team, but I'm going to have to work for it?
You got to work for everything, bro. Canada, we have a lot of good players, and people are just starting to realize that. So it's not really about competition. It's about, as a nation, can we put the best 23 together to represent us on a global stage? And I just want to, push myself on a daily basis at my club so that I can be the best I can be, so that when, Canada or Jesse needs me to perform on the field, we can execute and deliver on nights like Thursday and the game after that. So it's not really about me, it's about me being the best I can be for the country. And I think that's a lot of the mindset of the other players, is not whether I'll play, it's whether I've done enough, at my club on a daily basis to better myself, that if I'm needed, I can do it.
You've certainly done that. I mean, Union Saint-Gilloise has built a reputation over the last few years, but the Belgian league has fostered a lot of Canadian talent. When you think of Jonathan David, you think of Tejan Buchanan. What has that league done for you as you're looking to take that next step in your career?
I feel like it's like a leap pad really, but it's showing up in that league. The one mindset I wanted to be was basically, someone described to me, an unused sponge. Soak up as much information, education, physical training, tactical discipline. Really absorb everything the coach and the coaching staff is giving you, and implement that into your game. And even when I showed up in Belgium, I was a wreck. Going from Estonia to Belgium is basically unheard of. But not even just the coaching staff, even the board of directors and the sporting director, he looked at me dead in my eyes. He's like, we believe in your ability and your potential, but at the same time, you're gonna have to put in the work to unlock that. And that's what I've been doing, essentially. And they were backing me, not even 100%, maybe even 200%. And even when I have a good game, they're on me about tiny mistakes and different things. So it's never really it's never enough. But at the same time, that's the kind of mentality you want to have. Yeah, you win a game, but what could you have done better to do that? So the Belgian league, but my team specifically, has been a real foster home for me, where I can just develop as a player.
What is driving you, though? Because that your story, going from Estonia to Belgium, is not unheard of on this team. Look at Derek Cornelius, right? From him going from the Vancouver Whitecaps to Greece, then to Sweden, and to Marseille. That drove him. He talks about that drive of wanting to get to the next level, wanting to get higher, wanting to push himself. What's driving you?
My dad. Yeah, my dad's my biggest supporter. And, I think it's just wanting to be able to compete on big stages because you grow up watching, Champions League or Europa or the English Premier League, when I was growing up. So uh, I think around the age of like 20, I was just backpacking through Europe playing for fun, just enjoying life and trying to better myself as a footballer. But I think maybe like 2 years ago, I really sat down and like, what do I want from football? And if I took it serious and put a lot of work in, what could I reap at the end? So every day is just about what's your limit? What are you trying to strive for? And for me, it's just to be the best player possible and play in the best competitions possible. And yeah, the Estonian to Belgium was a very unorthodox move. Like everybody was looking at me like, how did you do that? How did you get that transfer? And I'm like, I didn't do anything. I just played and they saw it and they took a chance on someone. And yeah, I don't want them to regret taking that chance.
A lot of the themes that you just mentioned there, I've heard from a lot of guys who grew up in Brampton.
Yeah.
What did growing up in Brampton do for you, especially knowing what that city means to Canadian soccer?
I mean, yeah, a couple of us are definitely Brampton.
More than a couple. There's more than a couple of you.
Well, going to Brampton was nice, bro. I played Brampton East and Brampton Youth growing up, and I think football was a really large part of my life growing up, and it was the thing I looked forward to, after school. Even in school, I'm probably talking about football, and I think my teachers kind of knew I was the football kid and I didn't really care about English or math or anything. So, it was a great environment to be part of. Even like my teammates from when I was in U11 all the way to when I left Vaughan, we're really close. We were supporting each other. We were building friendships, and it was just a great community to be a part of, essentially.
And were there any of those guys who you now share that Canadian jersey with that you looked up to in that city?
When I was at Vaughan, for sure, the coaches used to talk about Alistair Kamal and Dane's group as like this golden generation. And as you can see, they're quality players. And they would definitely tell us stories about, shenanigans they would do in games or things that, they did that was, unreal. So it's gonna nice to be part of, a team where those same players are now.
And I'm not going to imply that you have a pinch yourself moment, but when you come here and you know what this team has done, to know that you're now among them, and on that journey, what does it prove to you, especially when you consider your last 12, 18, 24 months?
Proves that, even late bloomers can accomplish something or join, new levels, because.
And there's a couple of guys on here like that, like Moyes and like Derek, right?
Yeah, that came, me really late into my career at 23 is when I started playing, high level football. So, I just really just trusted myself, and I put some work in, and, whatever you input is what you're going to output. So, I really kept that in, the back of my mind. And, someone trains one time, I'm gonna go train twice. You make double the work, you get double the reward at the end of the day. So, just input and output and pushing yourself for me.
What was Jesse's message to you when coming into this camp? What did he tell you?
Coming into this camp specifically, he said, like you said, I'm not coming into a friendly or a qualifying game. We're coming into a knockout stage where we can potentially go home with a trophy. And it's not something we've done in a while. So he basically said the entire team has one goal, one mission, one mindset, and that's to compete and win. And you need to be on board with that. And I'm like, yeah, I am.
What did your dad say to you when you told him that you were going to represent Canada? Mm-hmm. And what have they been telling you as the days are leading up to Thursday?
I think when I told them, I think he started singing. But yeah,
what did he sing?
I think it was a praise and worship song. We just started dying on the phone. But I told him, yeah, they reached out to the club and they wanted me to be on board and part of this team. And he was ecstatic, and it's not something we thought. I mean, he definitely hoped for it, but we didn't think it would come for sure. But we definitely had to work for it. And Yeah, he was over the moon when I told him the news. I think I told him late though. I think I held it in until.
Well, why did you have to hold it in? Why?
I wanted to surprise him, but I can't remember. I wanted to surprise him with something, so I held the news. But then I had to burst the bubble because, he was seeing some stuff online.